Story 1. Boulevard of Broken Dreams. I spent my whole life singing. Sometimes I wish a mother bear would find me. Turns out it's someone out there. Who knew? Story 2. The shoes on my feet. Farted. The clothes I am wearing. Farted. Courtesy of my then 6-year-old brother, around the year 2000. Story 3. I want to know, have you ever seen Lorraine? Who can stop Lorraine? I guess Lorraine is down in Africa. I can see now Lorraine is gone. Story 4. My little sister thought the lyrics of The Little Drummer Boy were, I'm a 4x2, instead of, I'm a poor boy too. Story 5. I found out that the Black Eyed Peas said, Mazel Tov, and not Nozzle Tops, after confidently singing it in the car with my family. Story 6. One memory that will always stay with me is when Taylor Swift's song Blank Space was released. Everyone misheard the lyrics as, got a lonely Starbucks lovers. And now, every time I shop for groceries, I can hear it. Story 7. My favorite word is mondegreen, which refers to misheard lyrics. Sylvia Wright coined the term in 1954 when her mother was reading the Scottish ballad, The Bonnie Earl o' Moray, and misheard the words, laid him on the green as Lady Mondegreen. Hence, mondegreens. Story 8. I'm a little man and I'm also evil. I am into cats. Story 9. Good Charlotte's song Girls and Boys. What I heard. Girls don't like boys, girls like Cousin Buddy. Real lyrics. Girls don't like boys, girls like cars and money. Like, who is Cousin Buddy? Who is he a cousin to? And why do all the girls like him? Story 10. When we were teenagers, my friend and I were listening to Zombie by the Cranberries. His younger brother walked in during the chorus and sang, Salami, Salami, which inspired us to write our own version. It's in your bread, in your head. Salami, 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 may hey hey. Story 11. Glad to see you go by the Ramones. I heard gonna take a kiss on her. But I was mistaken. Also, in Michael Jackson's Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, I heard lick a pork chop. But I was mistaken. Story 12. Wrapped up like a deuce running in the night instead of revved up like a deuce runner in the night. Story 13. The song Hemorrhage in My Hands by Fuel features lyrics that can be quite whimsical. I often imagine the chorus as blee blah blah in my hands. While I know the actual words, the playful interpretation always makes me laugh. Story 14. Teenage me on KD Lang's Constant Craving. God Send Grace. My brother on Macy Gray's I Try. I blow bubbles when you are not near. Story 15. Stole this from a book full of misinterpreted lyrics. Pearl Jam's Glorified G. Someone mistook glorified version of a pellet gun for 45 versions of a pelican. Story 16. I feel like almost anything from the Red Hot Chili Peppers catalog is subject to being misheard simply due to how Anthony Kiedis sings. Story 17. John Prine's song, That's the Way That the World Goes Round. A woman requested that he sing that song about the happy enchilada. John was kind of confused and asked her to recite the line for him. She said, you know, it's a happy enchilada and you think you're gonna drown. Actual lyric, it's a half an inch of water and you think you're gonna drown. John liked it so much, he recounted the story to his audience and then sang the last verse about the happy enchilada. I really love John Prine. Story 18. There's a magical book called When a Man Loves a Walnut, with the sweetest cartoon illustrations. My sister and I were in an international bookstore in Frankfurt, and it made us laugh so hard that we purchased it. My favorite misheard lyric was from the Beach Boys, Help Me, Rhonda. Since you let me down, there have been owls puking in my bed. The drawing accompanying it is enchanting. Story 19. And the card attached would say thank you for being a friend. Story 20. Take me down to the last city where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. It may not be the best, but it is the one that lasted the longest in my mind. I realized, oh, that's where the title comes from. Story 21. Take it easy. The lyrics are supposed to be, looking for a lover who won't blow my cover. But I had always heard, looking for a lover that won't blow my brother. Story 22. The one I usually mention is about the bad moon rising. For some reason, I always say the bathrooms are on the right. I don't know why, so please don't ask. Story 23, Sweet Home Alabama. As it begins, he says, "Turn it up." My dad always says, "Tomato." I can't unhear it. Story 24. There's a Linkin Park lyric that goes, "In the memory, you'll find me, eyes burning up." I was young when that album came out and heard, "In the memory of Bambi," as funny nuts, and was so confused. Story 25. I'm shaving for Garth Brooks. I'm shameless. Two good friends, and I always laughed about it in high school. Story 26. I'm trying to find the words to describe this girl without being disrespectful. She's attractive. Story 27. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh my God. A restaurant in a one-horse open sleigh. My then 3-year-old son. I still sing it like that, by the way. Story 28. When I was younger, I thought I was above it. In 9 Inch Nails' song, Down in It, it says, "Howard shot the bunny." Story 29. Nearly 50 years ago, my friend's dad used to sing the Bee Gees song, "Bald-Headed Woman" to me. I still sing it that way. At a comedy show, there was Madonna's song, "Last Night I Dreamt of Some Bagels." I'm sure everyone has heard that one. My husband sings the Electric Light Orchestra song, "Don't Bring Me Down." When my son was little, he enjoyed the All-American Rejects song, "Just Another Reckless." Story 30. And that is why they call it doubloons. The Elton John classic about pirate treasure, I am pretty sure. Story 31. A Taylor Swift song has me singing the lyrics wrong, even though it was the title, "Delicate." Instead, I was singing "Dead Luck Yeah." Story 32. I have never been able to get lyrics right, so I do not try due to my auditory processing disorder. My ex-husband convinced me that Head East was singing "Shave My Wife, I'm Going Down for the Last Time." I thought that band was a group of rude individuals for years. Story 33. So many of these in metalcore music. August Burns' Red Backburner. Correct lyric. Lucky for you, rock bottom is in sight. Asking Alexandria, final episode. Correct lyric. You said the nights were far too long. Story 34. Nights in White Satin. Stevie Wonder / I Rock, I Ran. There's a bathroom on the right. There's a bad man on the right. There's a bad moon on the rise. Story 35. I recently discovered that Coldplay wasn't making a reference to SpongeBob. I had thought for a long time that it conveyed a message about corporate greed, but I guess not. Story 36. The Clash. Tariffs don't like it. Rockin' the Casbah. Thanks to a podcast, I now have this song stuck in my head. Bruno Mars. Too hot. Hot damn. Make a dragon want to retire, man. Story 37. In Little T and from the Rolling Stones' Tattoo You album, I had always assumed Keith was claiming, "She's got that shotgun shoulder." Not only because it sounds just like that, but also because at the time, everywhere you looked, we saw women wearing tops that teased a shoulder. It wasn't until a few years ago that someone on a Rolling Stones forum corrected me after I made a reference to Keith's line in the song. Story 38. A personal one. Get Off by Hailstorm. At first, I thought it was "I Give Up on You, Giving Up on Me." Story 39. I was thinking of her when you came outside. The sun in your hair. Did I mention how I love you in your underwear? Story 40. Rolling Stones. Beast of Burden. Instead of "all your illness, I can suck it up," I thought they were singing "I can suck a duck." Story 41. Former business partner told me he heard "suck a cow, suck a cow, suck a cow now," instead of "simmer down, simmer down, simmer down now" from the song "She's a Brick House." Story 42. One time I heard "Good to Be Alive" by Andy Grammer on a commercial, and I thought he was singing "Goo goo goo googie la la la." It annoyed me so much. Story 43. Belly of the Jess. When I was about 5, I genuinely thought this was a song about someone's stomach. Story 44. In Knee Deep by Zac Brown Band. The lyric goes, "She got too close so I fought her." And I always sing, "She got too close so I farted." Story 45. I thought Jason Waterfall was a cool guy I had never heard of. I probably thought that for over 10 years. Story 46. One of my old coworkers misheard Secret Agent Man as Secret Asian Man. I still laugh about that to this day. Story 47. We're up all night to the sun, we're up all night to get some, we're up all night for good fun. I rub my monkey. Story 48. Last night I dreamed of some bagels from Madonna. From Empire State of Mind by Jay-Z and Alicia Keys. Concrete Jungle, Wet Dream, Tomato. For years, I wondered why Elton John wrote a song about Tony Danza. Story 49. The Eiffel 65 song my friend thought was I'm Blue to Ba Dee. It floored me when I first heard that. Story 50. A little commotion caused discomfort, and I was asked if I needed a ride. Story 51. Osama bin wants to use you. Osama bin wants to be used by you. Osama bin wants to abuse you. Osama bin wants to be abused. Story 52. I swear the first 500 times I heard it, there was a line in the Skip the Dishes commercial with Katy Perry that said, and I want to sigh with a buttery delivery. After much searching online, I finally found a version with subtitled lyrics because that made no sense. Story 53. Well, it's Fat Leroy Brown, the heaviest man in the entire town, heavier than old King Kong, and meaner than a junkyard dog. Story 54. The song Hard Times by Paramore has a lyric, and I gotta hit rock bottom. But I always heard it as, what can you do but rock on? Story 55. Oh, here's to my sweet Satan, the one whose path makes me sad, whose power is Satan. He will give you 666. Story 56. That Jimi Hendrix song, Purple Haze, includes the lines, acting funny and I don't know why. Excuse me while I kiss the sky. Story 57. When a Man Loves a Walnut instead of When a Man Loves a Woman by Percy Sledge and Sand Patrol instead of Sad But True by Metallica. Story 58. And pretend that he is sparse and brown in the meadow. We can build a snowman and pretend that he is Parson Brown. Story 59. When Kelly Clarkson sang, Get Your Armor, in Battlefield, I heard, Get Shawarma. I haven't been able to unhear it since. Story 60. In Poker Face by Lady Gaga, at the start of the song, she sings Poker Face repeatedly. She actually included FOFOFOF asterisk 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 her face. And no one realized she was singing those lyrics. They just assumed she was saying Poker Face. Honestly, it is amazing. Story 61. I don't understand the point of fingers. Why do we stare and point our fingers? Eskimo Joe, black fingernails, red wine. Story 62. Every Christmas, we'll have some pie. And pronounced mayonnaise, mayonnaise. 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 Be merry and bright. Story 63. Okay, how has no one mentioned Alicia Keys' legendary line yet? New York. Concrete jungle where dreams are made. Story 64. ABBA. Two to dance. Two to die. Having the time of their lives. Pink Floyd. No Dukes of Hazzard in the classroom. You're just another brick in the wall. Story 65. Okay, hear me out for a second. Heartache Tonight by the Eagles. I used to think it was, there's gonna be a party tonight, as in a gathering, and the line somebody's gonna hurt someone was about a drunken altercation breaking out at this gathering. I still do not hear heartache whatsoever. Story 66. When I was little, I used to mishear the line, breaking bottles in the hall, in Hey You, by Pink Floyd as blowing bubbles in the hall. I also misheard the ending as divided with Mo, and I always wondered who Mo was. Story 67. A few songs from the 1990s referenced Darkchild, and I initially thought it was Dogchild. Listen to the beginning of Say My Name by Destiny's Child to see what I mean. Story 68. Concrete Jungle, Wet Dream, Tomato, from Empire State of Mind. I still purposefully sing it wrong just because of how funny it is. Story 69. There is a part of Money for Nothing by Dire Straits that any Spanish speaker will clearly interpret as Baby Quiero Queso Renoso, which translates to Baby, I want rotten cheese. Story 70. Not mine but my brother-in-law. Say the way, say the way, say the way. He asked, what does the way mean? Story 71. I do it all the time. I now do it on purpose because I'm good with technology. As a former DJ, I can put my lyrics in. Story 72. With your feet in the air and your head on the ground, try this chicken and spinach. Story 73. I would catch a grenade for you and place my head on a plate for you. Bruno Mars. Instead of put my hand on a blade for you. But I can't unhear it now. Story 74. My cousin sings, when you come around instead of in a day or two. And no one has ever corrected her. My brother thought, I know it will at the end of all the small things was a little windmill. And I cannot sing it any other way. Story 75. Four-legged woman. She is a four-legged woman to me. I knew that could not be the real lyrics, but I had no idea what he was actually singing, despite the song title, More Than a Woman. Story 76. Not a favorite, but in 2010, I genuinely thought Pump It Louder was puppy powder. I didn't believe it referred to powder for puppies, though. I was 11 and YouTube was new. With that in mind, I saw a disturbing video showing a litter of puppies being bagged and thrown into a river by a couple who were laughing. It made me think that the Black Eyed Peas song was about live puppies being ground into a powder. I cried whenever I heard it. I couldn't understand why my mom loved blasting the song while driving, since she loved animals. Story 77. Land of the Free and Home of the Brave. Story 78. Olivia Newton-John. Instead of, have you never let someone else be strong? Here, have you never let someone else destroy? This changes the tone of the song. Instead of being cared for, you watch things burn around you. I knew that was going to happen. I'm not going to try to fix you. I will just sit back and open a bag of marshmallows. Story 79. Can't believe you kiss your partner goodnight. That doesn't impress me much. It's been a year since I broke my nose. Message in a bottle. There's a brilliant Peter Kay sketch about misheard lyrics. Story 80. Somebody farted. Oh no, somebody farted in here. Story 81. You lied to me. Enlighten me, tell me your name. Sorry, I haven't memorized that part yet from Epic, the musical. Story 82. As a child, whenever I listened to Rihanna's S&M, I thought she sang, and the cheese mix excites me. Instead of the chains and the whips excite me. Story 83. In the 1980s and early 1990s, there was a used car salesman named Cal Worthington who had advertisements that aired on television, and the jingle would say, "Go see Cal," after stating outrageous things he was willing to do to get you to his lot. For example, he would say, "I will stand upon my head, go see Cal." As a child, I misheard "go see Cal" as "pussy cow," and I would sing this out loud, while my family never corrected me. My favorite part of the jingle was the repetition of the catchphrase at the end. I would dance and sing, "Pussy cow, pussy cow, pussy cow," with glee, and no one ever corrected me. Story 84. The police. Don't stand so close to me. Misheard as, don't send those ghosts to me. It made sense to me as a child. Story 85. Pink Floyd's Another Brick in the Wall, Part 2, includes the line "No dark sarcasm in the classroom." For years, I thought it was "no dog's orgasm in the classroom." I believed it was some bizarre metaphor. It didn't seem out of place in The Wall. But once I discovered the correct lyrics, I felt disgusted with myself for having misheard them all those years. Story 86. Charlie Puth. Attention, you've been running around, running around, running around, throwing that shirt on my knee. Story 87. When I was young, I always thought Madonna's La Isla Bonita was about an Eastern European, and she was saying, "Lucky Slav Juanita." Story 88. I am sending out an SOS for message in a bottle by the police. As a post-9/11 child in Australia, I interpreted it as Osama bin Laden SOS. Story 89. Touch me, Midas. I've heard that all my life. I recently learned that it's touch me, Midas. That makes much more sense. Story 90. You have been running around, throwing that turtle on my nail. I am passing gas. Story 91, wake up. Grab a brush and put on some makeup. I just finished with the shades up. Story 92, not lyrics but an artist's name. I always thought Hall & Oates was Hall & Oates, completely unrelated to the fact that I grew up with horses and carried big bags of grain. Story 93, it's not fair to deny me the cross-eyed bear that you gave to me. I was picturing a teddy bear. Story 94, when Kendrick Lamar said, "Hey Drake, I heard you like them young," I kept hearing, "Hey Drake, I hate you like I'm young." I thought it meant he hated Drake, as if Drake was abusing him. Story 95, I just died in your arms tonight. It must have been some kind of cheese. No, there are no lyrics. Place your hands on my soul and run your fingers through my hole. Story 96, take it to the lemon. Take it to the lemon. Take it to the lemon, one more lime. Story 97, not a song lyric but a movie line. In Austin Powers he says judo chop. A friend thought he said cheto chop. Story 98, courtesy of my 11-year-old goddess on the mountain top. Sperm is like a silver flame. Also, beat it. No one wants to see your penis. Story 99, of English songs. The beginning of City of Blinding Lights by U2 sounds like he sings, "The more you see the lesbian love." However, it's when other languages are misheard as Danish that it really takes off in hilarity. Elaine by Wes, for example, sounds like a whole song about a guy wearing sandals inside the house and sleeping with a lot of women in the rye fields. Story 100, I thought my dad was crazy when he told me he heard that, but then the show acknowledged it, so other people must have also heard it. I still can't believe it. It astounds me. Story 101, from the song Voices Carry, which should have made it obvious. Hush! Keep it down now, this is scary. Story 102, I used to sing a song called Wasting Time. My friend pointed it out to me. Apparently it was Kingston Town by UB40. She'll be waiting and wasting time. In fairness, I am deaf and wear a hearing aid. Story 103, I'm here to remind you of the cross-eyed bear that you gave to me. Story 104, just call me Angel in the morning, Angel. Just touch my teeth before you leave me, baby. My niece still hasn't lived that one down. Story 105, Pearl Jam's Even Flow. Oh, feeling, sometimes something. Also, Crossroads by Bone Thugs and Harmony. Pretty much everything said before and after I'm going to miss everybody. Story 106, Metallica Fuel. Gimme fuel, gimme fire, gimme double genocide. Fuel burn. Fuel is for the witches. Burning hard, loose, and clean. Turning my direction. Quench my thirst with gasoline. Burn the face of the crone. Take the corner, join the ash. Everything outside of those lyrics seemed unintelligible, and the above is all I managed to pick out. I always thought the lyrics sounded a bit wild, possibly some sort of commentary on Salem or a story about an overzealous witch hunter. Metallica has a song about being a werewolf, so it was somewhat easy to convince myself of that. One day, I think I saw a fan music video with the song featuring race cars, and I was surprised. That's when I misheard the lyric as, "Gimme fuel, gimme fire, gimme double jet engines." At that point, I had the ability to look up the lyrics and realized, oh, Story 107. For whatever reason, I heard the word aching in the song Kryptonite by 3 Doors Down. I will keep you by my side with my superhuman, my aching kryptonite. Story 108. All my friends are vegans. Take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the extent of the abuse. Story 109. Dance on my balls. A cat and a handbag. Yours, only yours. We're a single dance band. It's no lie. Lisa in the crowd said. Look, Harry had a malfunction. Story 110. I thought, sugar, yes please from Maroon 5's song Sugar, was shotgun. Yes please until I was singing it in the car at 11 and realized my mistake. Story 111. My little brother thought Roxette was singing Get Dressed for Some Sex. It still makes me laugh 30 years later. Story 112. From Marilyn Manson's song, I don't like the drugs, but the drugs like me. My daughter used to think that one of the lines he sang was, "We're under toast, and we're ready for fall." She was about 6 or 7 years old at the time. Story 113. I misheard Dominic the Donkey as "Time to Lick the Donkey" when my kids were little, and they still sing the wrong lyrics over a decade later. Story 114. To give one example, it's hard to be a man when there is a gun in your hand. Tears for Fears. That is not how that line goes. Story 115. I don't believe in your sanctity or your privacy. I don't believe in your sanctity or hip-hop cuisine. Story 116. Nobody knows this song, but instead of primacy and intimacy, it says, I must see and eat your pussy. Story 117. Dan Deacon, when I was done dying. Their question was foreign. I could not understand. I don't care what anyone says. The only way I will ever hear that line is, that shirt cost $400. Story 118. I swear, about halfway through the song, another one bites the dust. Freddie Mercury says, I'm adopted. Story 119. Jump to the river now. Everybody dance now. That little cutie can only make me stronger. Story 120. Misheard. I want to lick your breakfast. Actual. I want to leave you breathless. Breathless by Asking Alexandria. It's repeated many times throughout the song, and it just gets funnier and funnier. Edit. And now it's stuck in my head. Story 121. I give you my best dishes and my silverware. I truly offer you my best wishes, along with my tender love and care. Story 122. 4 years. I thought the lyrics "Show for me and I'll show for you" from Peter Gabriel's song Sledgehammer were "Show for me and I'll show for you." Story 123. You two hold me, thrill me, kiss me, kill me. Actual lyric. They want their money back if you're alive at 33. I always hear, they want their money back if you're a lying honeybee. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.